I want to thank Senator Booker for coming early and positioning himself to be the next person recognized. Senator Booker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a long, as you said, overdue, years overdue hearing. The COPS program was vital to my city when I was mayor of the city. I don't know how we would have survived in our mission without it. My police officers that I almost literally lived with during my days are some of the most heroic people I have ever seen. I am proud that under the Biden administration, we have not just continued to fund the COPS program, but have funded it at historic levels. I have some concerns, and the first one is sort of stunning to me, sir. I've looked at your record. You are an extraordinary public safety official. Your record in your state and your leadership was incredible, but something happened, and I remind you you're under oath, but did you say that you would not show up to this hearing if we had another panel focused on the community?
I never said that.
Again, and maybe we need to clarify, you're not aware of your office asking for us not to have a second panel dealing with community issues.
I am not aware of that, Senator.
I find that surprising given what I've heard, and frankly, the things I've heard from your office this last couple of weeks have been extraordinarily frustrating. I'm trying not to take them personally. I'm just one senator. From what I've heard, you don't give a damn what I think, but I will tell you this. The work and the obligations that you have are critical. And what does the C stand for in the COPS program?
Community.
Right. And do you think, under oath, that it would be probably really important that this committee have a panel hearing from community stakeholders about this program?
I do, and I thought that was the case. And I couldn't agree more with you, Senator, that C is in the word cops, because community are part of policing, and the word public is in public safety for that reason as well.
And you know from your experience, and again, everything I review, you're an extraordinary public safety official with a career to be really proud of.
Thank you, sir.
And yet, right now, my concern is with a program I support that I want to see reauthorized, that I'm grateful to hear Lindsey Graham talk about modernizing the program. The frustrations I've had over the last week with your office is just understanding what metrics you keep. Now, you were a leader of police force. I led a city. Data, transparency, accountability, the sophistication of your metrics is vital for public safety, is it not?
It is, and Senator, I want to stress the importance of you getting the information and data you need.
Sir, I'm glad you're saying this right now under oath, but Democrat, Republican presidents, I haven't had the kind of frustrations and heard the things I've heard from agencies like I have over yours the last couple of weeks. You talk about deconfliction grants. What data do you collect to see if those grants are effective?
So there have been many researchers and studies done over the years. I came into this assignment in January of '23, but
So in the last year and quarter, is your organization, as a guy who understands in leadership, and I know this from looking at your record, the importance of collecting data and having public transparency, does your office collect data when it comes to the deconfliction grants you have about use of force, about civilian complaints, about incidents of misconduct? Do you look at the before and after of the grants that you're giving out, critical data that would help us understand if the millions of dollars we are putting, hundreds of millions of dollars we're putting into this program are actually effective?
So Senator, we do have quarterly and semi-annual financial progress reports from these agencies that we review on a routine basis throughout that year, throughout the grant period. We are not an investigative agency.
No, you're not, but you're giving out grants that have specific ends, and you've given Congress no transparency, no data to understand whether the money we're investing is producing the results. The information I have been able to get from your Office of Public Information says that you barely do 10% of reviews of the grantees that get the resources. that you're barely collecting the kind of data on the various mission of your organization that would give us some kind of clarification if we're making investments that are reaping results. I agree with Senator Graham. We need to modernize the collection of data, because in the last 2 weeks, I have been utterly frustrated to understand what your office is doing besides counting the numbers of police officers that are hired with the grants, which is vital, and why I support this program, why I have voted for its historic funding. But as two men who have been responsible for the safety of our communities and understand the urgency and importance of connections to community, of building trust between law enforcement and community, I know that transparency matters, and I know that accountability matters. You're not to manage these departments you give grants to, but you have an obligation for the taxpayer money that you're giving out to make sure it's making some progress towards its mission. This is, to me, vital for the success of this program. And sir, it's vital for me because as great as my police department is, and as much as the change that they've made, I still live in a black and brown community where the #1 issue in my community is public safety, where I still, even as a result of the last year, have shootings in my community where my family lives. And so I know what drives change, as do you, because I've read everything I can about your career. When you were in law enforcement, you demanded transparency, you demanded data, you demanded accountability, you demanded real methods to build community trust. Why now do we have an agency like yours that doesn't collect the most basic things that we would need to inform a reauthorization of this program? And I think, Mr. Chairman, my time is up, but we need to put in this grant things that will modernize this program so we have more transparency and accountability for the money we're giving out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Tillis.